Good Life Program for Healthy Aging, brought to you by UC Davis School of Medicine, California Department of Health, and the City of Oakland Parks and Recreation and Aging Services. My name is Shanette, and this is Let's Get Cooking. And today we are making a garlicky kale salad with crispy chickpeas. I'm super excited. It's a nice, simple salad with a cool dressing. You know, I'm like super in love with making my own dressing now, and hopefully you are too. This gives you lots of options. And also, like if you wanted to add some things to your salad, please do. You know, I love to see you guys get creative, and we'll go over the ingredients now, okay? All right, so for our garlicky kale salad, one of the first things that we're gonna need obviously is a bunch of kale. So you need one bundle of kale, and we're gonna loosely chop that kale, or you can tear it. So we're gonna rip it off of the stem, and then we're gonna tear it or chop it down, roughly about 6 to 8 cups or 10 ounces, okay? And then we're gonna use a can of chickpeas, right? So you're gonna get your can of chickpeas, we're gonna rinse them, drain them, dry them, and then we're going to toss them with olive oil or avocado oil or grapeseed oil, whichever one you choose. A nice little healthy pinch of salt if you so choose. If you don't want to, you don't have to. And then 2.5 to 3 tablespoons of a tandoori masala spice blend, which you all should have received that information for the spice blend. If you picked up the ingredients from us, then you received a little cup with the spice blend in it, okay? Now for the dressing, we're gonna have 1 head of garlic, depending on the size. If it's a small head of garlic, I would go with 2. My opinion is more garlic the better, but you know, follow the instructions of the recipe. So we're gonna roast that garlic. We're gonna coat it with olive oil and roast that with chickpeas. 1/3 cup of tahini, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and that's gonna be, some of that is gonna be partially divided, right? Some of that is gonna go for massaging the kale, and some of that is gonna go for roasting the garlic. 1/4 cup of lemon juice for massaging the kale and adding to your dressing if you like. 1 to 2 tablespoons of maple syrup or honey or agave. I believe all of you have agave. I personally purchased agave. Another healthy pinch of salt and pepper, and then hot water to thin, okay? And that's to thin out our dressing. All right, awesome. All right, so let's get started. The first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and get our chickpeas together and our garlic for roasting. So with the garlic, after you've taken it out of from your actual bowl, you're gonna, or your clove bowl. So we're gonna take the garlic, we're gonna leave the skin on. So normally we peel the skin off, but this time we're gonna leave the skin on. And I'm gonna take this little bowl. I have a little bowl over here I can use. And I'm just going to go ahead and take my garlic. I need to be careful which one is which, because the agave looks like the oil, and the oil looks like the agave. That's oil. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and coat my garlic clove in a little bit of oil. So we're just gonna get that out the way. Coated. I'm actually doing 2 because you all know that I love garlic. All right. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get my chickpeas ready. So I'm gonna take my can and go ahead and open my can of chickpeas, and I'm gonna rinse them very well. And then we're gonna pat them dry a little bit. So we don't want too much water content in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it, and I'm gonna go over to the sink and rinse my chickpeas. All right, so I'm gonna just basically take a paper towel and just kind of pat these dry a little bit. They don't have to be super dry because you're not gonna be able to get them completely dry, but just want to take a lot of the moisture out. And I'm gonna transfer them into a bowl where I'm gonna add all of my seasonings, okay? Now what I'm gonna do now is have Naya go over, because the masala seasoning is So per the instructions of the recipe, the seasoning you could actually purchase at Whole Foods, but when I went to go purchase it at Whole Foods, this is how big it is. So I thought it's probably best to just go ahead and make it, especially because, providing for 20 folks, right? So that's what I did. So Naya, if you'd like to go over those ingredients for the masala seasoning.
All right. For the DIY masala blend, you will need 3 tablespoons of cumin, 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, 2 tablespoons of paprika, 3 teaspoons of ginger, 2 teaspoons of coriander, and 2 teaspoons of cardamom.
Those are all the spices that we need, and we're gonna get that all nice and blended up. So I already have that all pre-mixed. I'm just gonna blend it all up, and we wanna get it nice and blended. Also, in addition to that, you guys go ahead and preheat your ovens to 375, okay? So I'm just blending it up and it smells so yummy. If you can see, that's what it looks like. I'm gonna see if mine looks similar to what they have. All right. So now that I have my spice blend, and we're not going to use the whole thing because this particular recipe, you can actually save this. You don't have to use the whole thing. So if you're making your own, just add on, I would say a tablespoon, and then just make sure that it's coated because this is a lot of seasoning for 1 can of garbanzo beans, but you can actually use this season blend for anything, any other types of vegetables, if you want to do fish, or any type of other protein that you want to do. This is a wonderful spice blend, okay? So that's really cool to be able to make your own spice blends. Because it's much cheaper, especially if you keep making sure that you're keeping your pantry stocked, and as you're learning how to make all these recipes, you're buying new spices, then it's easier for you to pull things out of your cabinet because you already have everything there to make a nice spice blend, okay? So now we have our chickpeas drained. We're going to go ahead and toss with a little bit of oil and some salt, and then we're going to add our spice blend. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of drizzle some oil over there. I would say probably about a tablespoon and some salt. I'm just going to toss it around. Oh, I lost one. All right, and now I'm gonna go in and just start adding my seasoning. And I'm gonna start with that. I think about a nice little tablespoon. And that actually works very well. So if you're making the spice blend and you don't think that you're gonna use it later, I would say take that list of ingredients and cut your ingredients in half, okay? So if you don't think that you're gonna use it another time, I would cut it in half because you actually don't need an awful lot for 1 can of chickpeas. But if you're making a bigger batch, let's say you're gonna make this for a party, some type of get together for your family, then you may wanna make a little bit more. So my chickpeas are nice and coated. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a nice little piece of aluminum foil, or you can use parchment paper. All right, so now the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna get ready to get our kale together. So of course my kale has already been rinsed. I'm just gonna unbatch it. And then we're gonna take it and we're gonna start peeling these leaves off. And so basically you can rip it, you can cut it, whatever you wanna do. I like to just go ahead and rip. I'm a ripper. I rip things. And we're just gonna go through each stem and just rip our leaves off and toss them into a bowl. If you want to go back over it afterwards and like break it down a little bit more, feel free to do so. If you want to go back through and rinse it again, feel free to do so.
Fun fact, kale is rich in vitamin C, E, and K. Together, these vitamins help your skin look younger and healthier. In fact, in 1 cup of chopped raw kale provides more than 100% of the recommended daily value of vitamins A and K. And also C, which is an antioxidant that's great for brightening your skin appearance. It's also great for aiding in complexion, which means goodbye dark marks and get rid of fine lines and free radicals.
Yay. So if you want to keep your skin looking nice and healthy and beautiful, have yourself some kale in the morning, have yourself a smoothie with some kale in it. I love to have a smoothie with kale, spinach, apples, and whatever other fruit I have around, which is always something like blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, pineapple, anything. You can throw it in there. Now, do you have any fun facts about our spices? Because the spices are another really, really amazing way to get some great health benefits in our bodies. I love kale so much. Kale's actually become one of my favorite greens, whereas I grew up eating mustards and collards, and now I probably eat more kale than anything. This one is a little wilted, so I'm going to toss that to the side as I continue to rip.
Fun fact, using cumin as a spice increases antioxidant intake, promotes digestion, provides iron, and it also may improve blood sugar control and may reduce foodborne illnesses. Taking higher doses in supplement form has been linked to weight loss and improved cholesterol through research.
Yeah, so cumin is great. There are several other spices in that blend that have amazing health benefits. The paprika, the ground ginger is really, really, really good for you. Um, the coriander, really good for you. All right.
Coriander is linked to helping lower blood sugar levels. It is rich in immune boosting antioxidants. It might also benefit heart health, protect the brain, may also promote digestion and gut health, fight infections, protect your skin, and it is an easy way to add to your diet. And it's also the dry form of cilantro.
Which I love cilantro. All right, we're almost down to our last couple of leaves. I'm just gonna go through and just give this one more little rinse because I rinsed it pretty much surfacely, but now that I'm going through and ripping, I feel a lot of particles of dirt on my kale. So once you get that kale um, disconnected from the stem, then feel free to give it another rinse. And while I do that, now I can give some more fun facts.
You all know that cardamom is good for sleep. It helps treat sleep trouble. Inhaling the sweet and soothing aroma of cardamom essential oil may help in treating sleep issues such as insomnia, restlessness, and anxiety. Ginger is known to have anti inflammatory properties that may help ease inflammatory disorders such as gastritis, hepatitis, and not only does it ease these problems, but can also aid in arthritis as well.
I have my kales rinsed again. So I'm just gonna come bring this kale out and just kind of rough chop it again and throw it into my bowl. Because I want nice little bite-sized salad pieces. So it doesn't have to be any kind of way, just kind of pinch it and rough chop it and toss it into your bowl. Let's see that, make sure that you can see well. All right. There's nothing like a good kale salad to help your digestive system. It's a really good cleanser. It's good for your blood. All right. All right. So we're looking pretty good here. So we have our kale nice and rinsed and chopped in our bowl and ready for the next steps. Okay. So our next steps in the kale is we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna massage the kale and then get our dressing ready, okay? So basically the first thing that we need to do as far as the kale is concerned is we need 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. Somehow I forgot my lemon squeezy again, but that's okay. We go ahead and cut my lemon in half and squeeze in my lemon juice. And lemons are going to be a good way to brighten up this salad. Also, the lemon juice is good at breaking things down. So, like, I don't know how many of you guys like lemons, but lemons are really healthy for you. And Naya, do you want to give some health benefits about our?
When sick, lemons are great for boosting the immune system. It is high in vitamin C, which may help boost immunity in people who are undergoing extreme physical activity. Squeezing a whole lemon into a glass of hot water with a large spoonful of honey makes a soothing drink for someone with a cough or cold.
All right, so now that we have our lemon juice and our olive oil in this bowl, which I probably did it about a little bit less than a tablespoon. You can do about a tablespoon of lemon juice. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start massaging. So we're gonna massage for about a minute or two, which is gonna break down the fibers in the kale. It's gonna make it softer. It's gonna take out the bitterness of the kale, and the lemon juice is gonna brighten it up, and the olive oil is going to give it like some moisture. It's almost like we're giving a nice little moisturizing massage. And we're just gonna go in, and if you can see my hands, I'm just literally going in, squeezing, massaging, almost like you would do someone that you love, massage their back, just kind of squeeze gently and toss it. So while you're squeezing, you're kind of like tossing so you can get to the next section, right? So you want to squeeze it and kind of bring that part that you're squeezing up to the top so you can get all the pieces at the bottom. And the more massage you put into your salad, the more love it's gonna have. The softer it's gonna be, the easier it's gonna be to chew. You've been here with us from the beginning. These are one of the things that we learned pretty early on is the massage kale salad.
Fun fact, did you guys know that chickpeas and other legumes have calcium, magnesium, fiber, and other nutrients for strong bones? Make sure to soak them first to get rid of things called phytates, which can get in the way of your body absorbing the calcium in chickpeas. So it's always good to rinse your chickpeas for that little foamy thing that's on them when you see them in the can.
All right. So I have my kale is nice and massaged. I'm gonna go rewash my hands. And we probably have like about another 5 minutes to go to check our chickpeas and our garlic. And while we're doing that, we're going to go ahead and get our dressing made for our salad. Now, one of the ingredients that it asks for is hot water to thin it out. Since I don't necessarily have access, the water doesn't get hot that fast. I'm gonna go ahead and put on a little bit of water in a pot so I can use it. And it doesn't necessarily say how much, so it doesn't have to be a lot. You just so I would just say maybe like a cup of water, and then we're just gonna pour it in sparingly, just so we can thin out our dressing a little bit, okay? So it doesn't have to be a lot of water, so don't worry. All right, so now I have my kale all nice and ready to go. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start with my dressing. Funny, Jackie, but I would say to you all, even when we have a holiday, because when we have a holiday, normally the recipes go out on Monday. And when there's a holiday, I absolutely try not to work, at least not early in the daytime. But make sure that you register on Sundays, and then the recipe will most likely be out either Monday evening or Tuesday morning. It looks like my garlic skin is starting to do really cool things. So I'm gonna grab some tongs, which I'm always like pulling open drawers trying to find stuff. And I'm gonna grab my garlic out of here. Garlic actually grows pretty fast. So now we're gonna take our garlic and just let it sit to the side for a little bit while it cools down. And we're gonna start to get everything else ready, okay? All right, so let's get started with the tahini. So we're gonna go in with our 1/3 cup of tahini. All right, so I want all of that tahini. Scrape that out. All right, we're gonna go in with our, so if you have maple syrup or honey, that works, or agave works too. So we're gonna go in with our agave. We're gonna add a little bit more lemon juice. All right, so we need probably one more, actually this whole lemon. So because I didn't bring my squeezy, I'm gonna have to hold my hand around here and catch the seeds. I love lemon juice in a salad dressing. Oh my gosh. It's like one of my favorites. Okay, there's seeds in here. There's no way around it. I'm just gonna have to pick them out.
Eat around it.
All right, so I have my lemon juice, I have my tahini, I have my agave, I have my oil.
And a healthy pinch of salt and pepper.
And a healthy pinch of salt. Go ahead and throw all that in there. And I don't have any pepper out, so I'll grab some pepper. Throw in a little bit of pepper. I think that's pretty healthy. All right. Now I'm gonna blend. So even though the recipe says to add water, I'm gonna see what it's looking like before I start adding water. I'm gonna blend this up, and now that my garlic cloves should be cooled down a little bit, I'm gonna go ahead and add in my garlic cloves. That are not, ooh, they're nice and soft. So I'm peeling the skin off. Well, this one just about disappeared. I'm so happy I put in 2 garlic cloves. My feelings would have been hurt. When I tell you, look at, there's nothing in there. Nothing. Oh my gosh. That really just kind of hurt my feelings a little bit. So how is it going to be garlicky if there's not like 14 garlic cloves in there? 1 garlic clove to me does not equivalent to garlicky.
Is that all the juice right there, people?
Which one?
In the garlic bowl?
No, that's oil that was in the bowl before. All right. Well, we have our 1 garlic. We have our 1 garlic clove. That makes me sad because I was so looking forward to 2. Because when I say garlicky, I mean it. I want like real garlicky. All right, so I'm just gonna taste this. Interesting. I still feel like it needs more garlic.
Add some garlic powder.
Maybe a little bit more ginger. A little bit more lemon. So of course, when you're making your dressing, I would taste and add things as you feel like it's needed. And now I see why I say to thin it out. It is a bit thick. So I'm gonna go ahead and add in just a tad bit of water. I'll probably say that was about a teaspoon of water.
You
And
know,
I'll make sure. And you know, we eyeball measurements around here. We cook the old school way. I'm a measurement eyeballer. Oh, okay. So let me show you. That is actually thin it up nicely. So now we have our salad dressing ready, our salad's ready. Now I just have to check on our chickpeas. Because it's been, yep, turn it off. I think they're done. This masala seasoning, it smells amazing. So we're gonna let these sit over to the side for a little bit because when you let them sit and cool down, they're actually gonna get crispier, okay? So they get nice and crispy while they're cooling. But in the meantime, in between time, we're gonna dress our salad. So now you don't have to, depending on how much kale you've chopped up, I would say just start adding in your dressing a little bit at a time. Okay, so if you can see this, I'll do it this way so you guys can see it. I'm gonna go in with probably about quarter of a cup, and I'm going to mix it. Just toss it around. Because you don't want it to be drowning in salad dressing, but you want every piece of kale to feel like it's been touched by a little love, but not drowning in dressing, because this is a pretty thick dressing. And I'm just gonna go ahead and say for the record, that one garlic clove, not enough. I would do, if you want garlicky dressing, you need to do like 3 or 4. Like one garlic clove does not equivalent to anything that says garlicky, but I digress. I really wish I would put more garlic in here, but the salad dressing is actually really yum. If you like a nice creamy dressing, okay, I'm gonna go in with a little bit more dressing. Like I said, just take your time. It's no rush, unless you're starving, then rush. Other than that, all right, so I think that's good. Just gonna taste one of these leaves to see. Mmm. Yummy. Super yum. All right, now I'm gonna get a bowl. So I'm gonna go ahead and just start pouring this salad out into my bowl. Stuff out of the bowl way. And then I'm going to get my chickpeas. They're kind of a little bit soft, but that's okay. I have my chickpeas on top. And now I'm going to dig in. 1, 2, 3. Bon appetit, everyone. Let me tell you guys something, because this is, I don't know what it is about these recipes. Every single class, I feel like, look, I find the recipes, I look them over, I read them over, but for some reason, every time I get to class, I'm like, oh, is that what it said? Oh, I completely missed that. My bad, y'all. Oh my God. Or I was like, 1 clove of garlic, and then I get these things like stuck in my head that I've completely convinced myself it was 1 clove. It was 1 head of garlic. Sandra, see, Sandra, I knew, Sandra. I was like, something's not right here. But it was really good. With these chickpeas, you know, you can make a batch and just kind of keep them to the side and then use them throughout the week. All right, you guys, thank you so much for joining us today. It's always a pleasure to spend the afternoon with you on Thursdays, cooking and eating and talking about all the amazing health benefits of the food that we're eating, because our kitchen should be our pharmacies. They should be our place of healing. Thank you so much. Once again, this is the Good Life Program for Healthy Aging, brought to you by UC Davis School of Medicine, California Department of Health, the City of Oakland Parks and Recreation and Aging Services. My name is Shanette, and you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you all next week, okay? Bye.